program, what it is that you're trying to accomplish with this program, and the food piece of it, and what this all means, and how to make sense of it, what you need to do as you move forward. And I think the easiest way to do this really is to kind of give you some background about the program itself, what it is that we do, why we do it, and then we're going to talk a lot about goal setting, which I know a lot of you have already done, right? Yes? Kind of identified your scale goal, your physical goal, your team name, all those good things, right? Is anybody today here by themselves but their partner couldn't make it? Okay, several of you. All right, wonderful. The reason we have this camera is because we know there are a lot of people out who can't necessarily make it. O'Connell Walk and Whitewater Trek are also going to be able to access these videos via the intranet as soon as we figure out how to get it on the intranet. That is not my forte. So if you guys have questions, what I'll do is I'll repeat the questions for the people who are watching it, or can't be here today, and then we'll go from there. Will you guys let me know if I go too far outside the zone? Because otherwise they won't be able to see me and they'll get really mad at me. Okay. Raise your hand really high if this is your very first time participating in this program. Wonderful, wonderful. And then there's a couple people that have done it before. Welcome back, I love it. One of the biggest reasons we hear from people about participating in this program, honestly, regardless of what they're trying to do weight-wise or health-wise, is the accountability, right? It's somebody to actually sit down with them and go through with them every single day, every single week, every single month, what it's going to take to get to their end goal. More than anything else, which is why Trek has as many fitness classes as they do on the schedule, which is why they have the check-ins with Peg and I, which is why they have the nutrition education. We are always in your face, in a good way, because we know how hard it is to get to that end goal without the proper things in place, without the proper support in place. The B4C program itself, you guys have got this great handout. You will also get that. I'm going to email it to you online so you don't have to worry about a thing. Basically, the whole premise of this program is health. So erase any preconceived notions right now of, I'm in this program because I have to lose 50 pounds. I'm in this program because my doctor said I have to lose 30 pounds, whatever it may be. If you focus on health with this program, the weight will follow. Absolutely, because when you eat right, your body composition will adjust itself. I promise you. Okay, you guys believe me? Okay, this is like the toughest time of the day to present here. We might have to grab some sugar. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to grab sugar. I want you guys to make a commitment to me. Can you do that? Before I tell you what it is? Every day, I want you to jump on the website. Once a day. How many of you have been doing that?
I know.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, can you tell those veterans that they need to do it too? Just once a day, jump on, peruse the homepage, see what's new, look at the fitness classes. If you're somebody that's already taken some fitness classes this week and you're sore and you just want to check something different out for next week, make sure you know what's coming up. In addition, journal that food, whether you're journaling it on the website or you're using myfitnesspal.com or livestrong.com. Any of those will work, okay? But every single day, you guys are going to promise me that you're going to jump onto that website. The other thing that I want you to promise me is that every single person in here is going to fail. Yes? Every day we fail. Especially when it comes to food. I don't know a single person that eats exactly how they want to eat or exactly how their doctors tell them to eat, unless they're in the hospital and they've got an IV. I'm not kidding you guys. We all have those things where we're stressed and we eat. We're happy and we eat. We have a wedding and we eat. Okay, so all of us are going to make decisions about our food that sometimes aren't the best decisions. Here's the deal. If the majority of the time your decisions are good decisions, and I'd say, 75–80% of the time you are really, really good with your food, you will succeed. Promise. Promise, promise, promise. Okay? If you have not yet identified what your why is for the program, and that is what's driving you, I want you to spend some time thinking about it. It does not necessarily mean that it's the goals that you've outlined for yourself, but think about, why are you here? Did a coworker drag you into this program? Did a family member say, hey, I really want you to do this? Did your doctor say you have to do this? Did you just say, you know what, I want to look younger, I want to feel younger, I want to have more energy, this is why I'm doing it. Whatever your reason is, make sure you identify it for yourself. If you don't know why you're doing this, it's going to be really tough to get to those goals. A lot of times people ask Sue and Peg and Drew and all the other trainers and myself, why? Why this program? Why do we do this program? First of all, we've been there, okay? Every single one of us has had something in our health, with our weight, whatever it may be, that has prompted us to consider what we're eating and what we're doing for fitness and has prompted us to make changes, okay? Every single one of us. And, you know, I know myself and Sue would be more than happy to talk with you about those experiences and what they've done for us in terms of how we've moved in this direction. The other thing is we're experts in our area. Between Sue and I, we have 45 years of wellness experience, okay? So we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about. If we don't, we'll find out. I can guarantee you we will not leave you hanging. We have a passion for you guys and for Trek. We've been here now for ever, 4 or 5 years I think, working collaboratively with this company. And we also know that this program, you guys, it works. It works. There is no way that it doesn't work. I can promise you that. It works, but you just have to make sure you're working it on a daily basis. Oh, there you're high. You guys, if you want a handout, Marcus has a handout for you, which is awesome. All right, I'm going to talk about these next few slides that you'll see as you kind of go around here. This is page 2, slide 4 is kind of where I'm at right now, in terms of weight. But when I talk about this particular program in terms of weight, again, it's not just about weight, it's about health. Because if you're carrying as little as 10 extra pounds of weight on you every single day, you're probably going to have something that you don't like about that extra weight. First of all, has anybody ever tried to carry a 10-pound weight around all day long? It's a bummer. It just gets in the way. It's inconvenient. You know what I mean? I did this last year actually for a day, and when I was driving was the worst, believe it, because I set it right on my lap. And I was like, God, that hurts my back, that hurts my hips. You know, walking into the supermarket, how do I, you know, I was hanging onto my weight. I mean, it was a pain. It was a pain. As little as 10 extra pounds of weight can make a huge difference in your health, okay? If you guys take a look at these slides, and I'm honestly not going to go through it, but if you look, the lighter areas of the United States, from slide 5 all the way through to slide 28, from slides 5 to 28. These are maps. Oh, you guys have color. And you guys are also going to have color. I'm going to send this to you online. From slides 5 to 28, you'll see that the Centers for Disease Control every single year puts out these maps in terms of obesity statistics. Right now, where we're at as a nation, 68.4% as of 2011, people in the United States are considered either overweight or obese, okay? And I'm not saying any of this to make people feel guilty or bad. I just want to give some perspective on that. Guilt is a big, big thing with food, and we're going to try to overcome that as much as possible. So if you jump to slide 29, you'll see that there's some obstacles. And the writing, if you're my age, is a little small. So again, I'll send it to you. You don't have to worry about reading it. And when I mean obstacles, I mean things that make it hard, whether your goal is to run a marathon. Maybe you are pretty lean already. Maybe you don't necessarily want to lose weight, but you want your energy levels to go up. All the way to somebody who has a lot of weight to lose, all right? These are the kinds of things, you guys, right here. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm never going to categorize food as bad, okay? Even soda. I know you're all freaking out right now. But here's the thing. This, honey, trail mix, granola bar, Rice Krispie treat, preserves. The majority of what this stuff is sugar. Sugar. We need some sugar in our diet. In fact, we need about 10 teaspoons of sugar per day in our diet. The average American consumes almost 3 times that in a day. And it's just because it's in everything. And it's not necessarily something that you can look at the label and it'll say grams of sugar. Okay, definitely that's part of it. But what it is, it's also the impact that the carbohydrate content in that food has on our bodies. So when you're looking at something like this, These are great, you guys. These bars are great. But I always tell people, what's your goal? Okay, if you have, whether it's a granola bar like this, or it's a package of Nature Valley, or it's a Cliff Bar, or something like that, if your goal is just simply to get healthier and have more energy and weight loss isn't an issue, and it's not really been an issue for you, this is probably okay. Your body is probably better designed to deal with this. Okay, if you're someone like me who really does not do well with sugar, type 2 diabetes runs in my family, I'll eat a whole bar and I'll bloat, I won't feel good, I gain weight really easily from sugar. Those are the kinds of things where you look at this and you go, I'm going to cut it in half. So if you have any doubt at any time, no matter what the food is, go smaller than the serving size. Because normally that'll give you the kinds of sugars that aren't going to put you over the top. Sugar is not a bad thing, but we have too much of it in our diet. That's one of the main reasons why we're struggling here in the United States. 4.2 grams equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. So if you do take a look at some of the labels, you'll notice right away that it adds up fast, doesn't it? For example, yogurt, great food. Yogurt's great for protein. It's a nice little pick-me-up, right? It's got carbohydrates in it. It's great before a workout. A full-fat yogurt, on average, is going to give you about 7 teaspoons of sugar. That's almost, what, 2/3 of your day's worth of sugar in a yogurt. Back in the 80s and the late 70s, you guys, yogurts were no bigger than 4 ounces. Do you remember this? Does anybody remember this? Portion sizes have, I'm sorry, I'm dating myself here. Portion sizes have also grown. So now you look at a yogurt and you're going to get like a 6 or an 8 or even a 10-ounce yogurt on average, right? So again, I think that to get around these things, we just have to be aware of, okay, I like a full-fat yogurt. I don't like the low-fat stuff. I don't want to do the fat-free stuff. But I've got a lot of sugar in here. So I'm gonna measure it out, and I'm going to have maybe half a serving of yogurt. I don't want you to give up all the foods that you love, because that's going to also set you up for failure. You just need to figure out how to fit them into your life in a way that makes sense for you and your goals. Soda's a tough one, and this is why I always hit soda hard. Regular soda, diet soda's no better, we'll talk about that in a minute, but regular soda on average provides about 10 teaspoons of sugar for a 12-ounce can. How many of you see 12-ounce cans? I mean, the cans they're grown, you know, 16 ounces, 20 ounces. So that's probably one of your primary obstacles no matter what your goal is, okay, is that sugar content as well as the carbohydrate content in that food. Here's the deal. When you have a lot of carbohydrates in a food, main energy source. Carbohydrates is going to fuel you. It's going to give your brain glucose. It's going to allow you to do the things that you want to do and do them quickly. But if you have a food that has a lot of carbohydrates with very little fiber and very little protein, that food is going to give you a surge and it's going to cause you to die. And if you're just sitting around at your desk or you're not necessarily moving your body, depending on your genetic makeup, and depending on whatever it is, issues that you might have with weight or health, that sugar might go right into fat storage for some of us. For other people, and these are the people that can pretty much eat anything they want and they're always tall and, you know what I mean, tall and lean. You know, does anybody have a friend like that in their life? Yeah, right, I know you love them but you hate them type of a thing. For those people, they have more leeway with those sugars because their body is efficient at using them. So, again, look at your history, look at your parents, look at your grandparents, look at your goals, and those will determine for you if you need to get really conservative with the amount of carbohydrates and sugars in your diet, or you can have a little bit more freedom. Yeah?
Quick question on that. So if you're eating the carbohydrates without the simple sugars, is that an advantage? Or are you suggesting staying away from both, minimizing both?
That's a good question. The question was staying away from carbohydrates without the simple sugars, or staying away from both. And here's the deal, you guys. When you look at a food, what you want to look at is you want to look at the total carbohydrates, okay? And then you want to look at the fiber and the protein. Aim for 5 grams of fiber, 5 grams of protein per serving. Now, 5 grams of sugar is also optimal. You're not going to see that a lot. That's really, really low. What you're looking at is you're looking at the carbohydrate effect on your blood sugar. So it's a combination of things. You can't just separate things out. If you minus the fiber and the protein from the total carbohydrates, and it gets you to a number that's less than 15, you're going to have a better chance of having a negligible impact on your blood sugar. All right? So again, total carbs. So say, for example, let's take this. And you guys how many servings are in this bag? 4. Okay? The sugars are pretty low. 4 grams of sugar. But I know me, if I were to open this, I'd eat the whole thing, right? 16 grams of sugar. That's quite a bit. So the total carbohydrate in here is 7. Pretty darn low, which is great. The fiber is 2, and the protein is 4. So that's 2 plus 4 is 6. So you've got a net carbohydrate count of 1 gram. All right? So even though the sugars are 4 grams of sugar, which is pretty low, this is going to have a negligible effect on your blood sugar. And the reason for it is because you've got the protein and the fiber in here. But here's the other thing you want to look at when you're looking at labels. What's in it? I mean, if the label is readable, which I'm not really sure if it is, it doesn't tell me. Oh yes, it does, right here. You want to make sure that the ingredients in here, for the most part, are ingredients you're familiar with. Almonds, corn rice syrup, something else in here that I can't read. So you'd have to go online because you can't see all of the ingredients because of the seam. But if the label is long and there's lots of preservatives and lots of additives in that particular product, it's going to be harder for your body to break it down. It's going to be harder for your liver to detoxify the things in it. It's going to be harder for your fat cells to be able to not store it as fat. The longer the list, the more difficult it is for people in their health and their weight. Speaking of ingredients that we don't know what they are, a lot of times people will come to me with labels, and you guys feel free. If you have your favorite foods and you really want to know kind of should you be eating it, should you not be eating it, depending on your goals, bring them into check-ins, and Peg and I will take a look at them and kind of guide you depending on your goals. But again, if you know what the ingredients are for the most part, you're probably good. Think of it this way. If you can transition your eating to 80% whole foods that you recognize, and no more than 20% of processed foods or ingredients in your foods that you don't, it's going to be a nice shift for you. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be home free, because you know there's still going to be a lot of sugar in your diet, but it's going to be a good shift for you. Most of us eat way more processed food than 20%. Appetite stimulants and artificial ingredients. Okay, just to give you some awareness here. If you have things like aspartame and Splenda, fake sweeteners. Say, for example, you're a diet soda drinker. Again, no guilt. Okay, no guilt here, you guys. I know it's hard because right away you're like, oh no, I like my soda, she's going to take it away. Here's the thing. I just want to make it as feasible as possible for you to hit your goals, no matter what it is that you're doing. So if you like your soda, your diet soda, here's the deal. Diet soda, aspartame, Splenda in our foods, it causes us to hang on to body fat. It causes us to get sick. There's lots of evidence that people who ingest as little as 1 soda a day are more likely to end up with things like cancer as well as inflammation-related disorders. It's a toxin, you guys. It's very difficult for the body to break down aspartame. It just is. And aspartame, you guys, has a whole long list of different names. In fact, you rarely will look at a product now and it'll say aspartame. Sucralose is kind of the newest thing that you'll see that means aspartame. So if you really, really like diet soda, my recommendation for you, no matter what your goal is to gently back off of it a little bit at a time. Don't go cold turkey or people around you will hate you, okay? Because it's a toxin. Gently back off of it a little at a time. And if you can get it out of your diet altogether, great. If you find that you still want one occasionally, that's okay. But it should be a treat. Nothing more than a treat. Mimi, do you have a question?
I think I heard once that Splenda at times inhibit or mess with your body's ability to assimilate medication. Is that
true? That is true. That is true. There's a lot of research that continues to come out about artificial sweeteners, and actually Splenda, the question was, does Splenda inhibit assimilation from pharmaceuticals into the body? And it does. The assimilation, you guys, of medication into the cell happens very, very well if you don't have a lot of other stuff and junk in the way. Splenda is something that makes those medications, it makes them work a lot harder to get into working cells. So again, if you're going to have a sweetener, tell me what you guys like to sweeten things with. Shout it out.
honey?
Chocolate. Sugar, right? Anybody sweeten anything? Sugar? Honey? Does anybody use honey? Agave syrup? What else? What else do you guys like for sweeteners? Maple syrup? Maple syrup? Yeah. So, again, think about those sweeteners and then just remember that no matter what it is, it's still sugar. Okay? Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, it just means that you want to make it a small piece of your diet. Appetite stimulants are very real. And I'm saying this from my heart, you guys, because I have a multitude of individual clients right now who are telling me that places like Starbucks, Glass Nickel, Culver's are places they cannot resist. Those are places that they go to on a weekly basis because there are addictive properties in that food, which literally makes it hard for people to stay away from them. And I'm not kidding. I know some of you are like, I'm not kidding when I say this. The food industry is a great business. They really are. They're making good money. They're doing well. It's awesome. Okay, we'd rather have bicycle manufacturers do better. But anyway, the food industry is doing really, really well. But they're doing it well at the expense of our health. Almost 68% of us in the United States are struggling in some way, shape, or form with our health. So things like color. If your food is a color it shouldn't be, you probably don't want it. And again, depending on you and depending on your genetics, it might be something that affects you more so than somebody else. My son, for example, is one of those people. If he has red, yellow, blue, he's going to be very hyper. I know this about him. There are other people that can literally eat that stuff all day long and it doesn't affect them. But color is what we call an excitotoxin. You don't need to know all this. I'm just telling you the nitty-gritty quick. It's something that crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it makes it difficult for us to make good decisions about our food. And it makes it more likely that we'll eat in excess and not make better decisions when it comes to our food. MSG is another excitotoxin. And again, they don't just label MSG anymore. There's 100 different names for MSG. Okay, there's so many different things that they can call it. So again, if you make those processed foods a smaller piece of your diet, you're not going to have to worry about the ingredients in them. Portions. Talk to me about portions. Have you guys seen an increase over the years? Yeah. Do you know that the size of the average plate has increased almost 28% in the last 10 years? Seriously, my mom, actually, she was at my house a couple weeks ago and she brought me over these old dishes. She goes, I thought you might want these. And I looked at them and I'm like, are those salad plates? She goes, no, those are dinner plates, honey. I'm like, no, they're not. I mean, our plates have gotten bigger. Everything has gotten bigger. And so our perception of what we're eating is just skewed. It's just different than what we used to do. Which is why you'll hear us throughout the program say, eat your vegetables. And the reason for that is because you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. When you're eating that wonderful salad bar over there, not all of it, but the vegetables itself in abundance, for the most part, it's really difficult to go overboard with vegetables because you'll get too full or bored. Okay? But you can go ahead and eat those as often as you'd like. When it comes to portions, I want everybody in here, and I do this myself at home, to make sure you have a couple sets of measuring cups at home. Those teaspoons, tablespoons. And for the first couple weeks of the program, I want you to measure your food. You're going to be surprised. For example, I love peanut butter, and I always put it in my smoothies. Well, I always thought, well, I'm only putting a tablespoon of peanut butter in there, and I log onto MyFitnessPal and I put a tablespoon in. Well, then I started measuring it. It wasn't a tablespoon. It was 2.5 tablespoons of peanut butter that I was, now it's, again, not a bad thing, but depending on your goals, it might be enough to throw you off. 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, you guys, is 100 calories. 100 calories a day adds up, right? So that measuring piece is really, really important. And I know you're gonna, the first couple weeks, you're gonna be like, I can't believe she's making me measure this stuff. Okay, but listen, it'll help because then you'll be able to eyeball it. You'll get to a point where you're like, I know this is a tablespoon, I know this is a half cup, all of those things. It's more important to measure things that are going to have a higher impact on your blood sugar. Things like pasta, potatoes. Okay, potatoes are good, but you don't want to go too much. Rice, lentils, beans, quinoa. All those things are great things. And you guys all received the food guidelines in the initial email I sent. If you don't have them, you can't find them, email me, I'll send them again, okay? But you want to measure those foods that are going to have a higher impact on your blood sugar, because if you're like me, who comes from a family with type 2 diabetes, which is how my grandmother passed away, those things are going to eventually kill me if I eat too many of them. So you have to be aware of what it is you're putting in your body and what you want it to do for you. You guys, slides 32 through 34. I'm not going to go into them in detail. You guys can look at them on your own. But here's the deal. People ask me all the time about calories. How many calories should we have in our diet? Anybody know? Depends, right? You're going to need more than she is. It depends on whether or not you're male or female. It depends on whether or not you're exercising an hour or 2 hours a day, or maybe you're not exercising, maybe you're injured. All of those things come into play. So again, that's where the check-ins are really, really helpful. That's where you can sit down with Peg or myself, or grab Sue and say, I am completely confused. I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but I'm not seeing the kinds of changes I want to see. And that's where we can kind of help guide you. Okay? The quality of the calorie is just as important as the quantity of calories. Eating the B4C way is going to make it easy for you to go to a restaurant, to go to a wedding, to go to a bat mitzvah, to go to a birthday party, to go to a gas station, and make the right decisions. Just off the top of your head, especially people who were in B4C before, if you were at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, what would you pick? Almonds. Almonds are great. You guys are scared to answer me, aren't you?
Apples.
Apples? Yeah? Anything else? Be honest with me. You guys want me to be honest? I'm a peanut M&M girl all the way. Okay? I am. And if I'm really, really hungry and I literally am not focused, I'll grab it. But I know that in about 20 minutes I'm going to be starving again. So here's the deal. Going for the nuts without the sweetener on them, and then trying to pair it with a piece of fruit, you know, if there is fruit there and it doesn't look too bad, is definitely ideal. It's something you can do at a gas station. What about a bar? What do you get? What bar food? What can you eat? Peanuts. Those nuts are great. Yeah? What else?
Jerky.
Popcorn. What did you say?
Jerky.
Jerky. Jerky will fill you up. You don't need much of it. You bet. Protein, right? All of these things are things that are going to fill you up. Now be honest with me. What do you tend to crave when you're at a bar? Beer. Right, salt, right? Salt. And what does salt make you thirsty for? Beer. Right. Which is why in this program we try to limit our alcohol consumption. It's not necessarily because of all the calories in the alcohol. That's, you know, it's usually the mixers that kind of throw us off, honestly. But it's because of what we do when we ingest the alcohol. It's because of what our bodies do when we have too much alcohol. So when we move forward in this program, if you guys try to limit your consumption to how many a week? 3 a week. 3 a week. Again, don't get upset, okay? Here's the deal. If right now you have 5, 6, 7 a week, you know, you're a very social person, you're gonna back off of it. You're gonna back off of it a little bit until you get to 3 a week. Because I tell you this, even if you're not in this program for weight loss, but you're in this program because you want to get fitter, you want to get stronger, that alcohol is not helping your muscle mass at all. In fact, it's breaking it down. Okay, so if you limit it to 3 a week, you are going to have the best shot at hitting that muscle mass goal. I promise. Okay? So the quality of the calorie. Produce, fruits are another thing that are a great source of energy. But again, fruit, like the fruit cups here, they're good, but just you don't want to mound them like that. You want to take a fruit cup, and actually if you can, you know, I know they have measuring cups. I'll ask Matthew to bring them out again. If you measure your fruit and you have 3/4 of a cup of whatever chopped fruit is usually in there, like the cantaloupe and the watermelon and stuff, that's plenty. It really is. And you'll notice that it'll be just underneath that line in that cup normally. Low sugar fruit, you guys, and again, this is all on the food guideline sheet that I sent you. Apples, non-ripe bananas, so like slightly green bananas, pears. Berries are actually a low sugar fruit. Peaches are a low sugar fruit. What else do you guys like to eat for fruit? Bananas. Bananas. Good bananas. It's really fun. Bananas can be really high if they're kind of real bright yellow with brown spots on them, or really low if they're slightly green. So that you can kind of play with that. And here's the thing: if you love bananas and you know that you can't have 3 a day, okay, cut it back to 1.5. Have less of it. I don't think bananas is your issue though. So, if you guys go with me to the next page, slides 35 through 37, we're going to talk a little bit about your goals, okay? Think about your physical goals, whatever that may be. That